It's burning well. It's gonna hopefully keep the house warm for another hour. And while Millie is sitting on the couch over here, I'm gonna go clean the workshop and rehandle my favorite hammer, my very first hammer that I got from my dad. So you guard the house, Millie. You stay safe. As you can see, my workshop is quite a mess. So before I do anything, I'm gonna have to clean this off and make sure I put all my little watch pieces away so I don't lose them. As you can see, I abused the heck out of it. I used to take it and smash rocks in late summer nights just to see the sparks come off of them in the dim light. So as I grow older, I appreciate my tools more and more. So I think it's about time that I showed it a little bit of love and put a new handle on it. So we're gonna take care of that today and remove this old handle and put this new one on and give this hammer some new life. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take my sanding block and real lightly just go over the surface to help remove some of this rust. And that'll also help take out some of those nicks and dings. And after that, we'll put a nice coat of oil on it and make it look good. So the next step is to cut the handle off and drive this out. Alright, after about like 20 minutes of fighting with this darn thing, I finally got the wedge out. More or less. Okay, almost got the wedge out. This old wedge, it was set in here sideways and I drilled through the top and there was a rubbery coating covering it, and as I drilled down I thought the whole top was metal and that the handle only came up to here. Turns out, how I drilled in to check to see how much wood was there, I hit the wedge, ended up having to drill all the way around, wiggle the wedge out, and I ended up hitting the sides a little bit of this hammer. So the inside cheeks are a little rougher now because of that, so I guess that's good for holding the new handle on, which was previously lacquered. And I went and took my knife and followed the high spots to the low spots, keeping it at a 90-degree angle, just gently scraping off the finish. So now that I got it almost all that old finish removed, I'm going to now fit the handle. So I'm not going to force it all the way in there right off the bat. I pushed it on and I can see that it is compressing the corners here. So the corners should be rounder. Just going to gently scrape away here. That shouldn't be an issue. And you're going to want to loosely hold the handle and drive it. Drive it down. And what that's going to do is that's going to use inertia by forcing this handle down, the hammer head wants to stay in place, so it's going to drive it in gently and evenly. And when you get to the end, you're actually going to be hitting this thing pretty much as hard as you can. So you really got to watch your fingers. I'm getting there. Alrighty, so it's time to seat this wedge in here. You don't want to go ahead and use a hammer right on that wedge because it'll split it. You want to use a piece of wood, so I'm going to use the old handle and set it on top like this. Just in case the wedge decides to go in crooked, I can use this to push on one side or the other. So I'm going to give this a few good taps. Give it an eyeball. Tap it in there. So I'm just going to go slow, make sure it doesn't fly out on me. That's a good hammer. Now for the head here, I'm just going to load it up with some boiled linseed oil. And if you don't have a really good applicator, but I got an old pen here, this boiled linseed oil is going to expand the head into any gaps that it's missing. That's it. I've rehandled my hammer. My first one that I got from my dad, and I used and abused, busting rocks, just so I can see the sparks late summer nights. Don't tell him I did that. That stays between you and me. Alright guys, it's time to do it to it, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.